Las Vegas Strip, what has now become the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history. Just after 10 p.m. local time, a hail of gunfire raining down from the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Hotel. 22,000 people attending a Jason Aldean concert.
This entire country still reeling after the worst shooting in American history. A massacre at a gay nightclub right here in Orlando overnight, waged by a lone gunman who we have now learned called 911 to pledge allegiance to ISIS.
At 7:15 this morning, in a Virginia Tech dormitory, a lone gunman shot and killed 2 people, beginning what would become the deadliest shooting spree in U.S. history. More than 2 hours later, undetected, he had reached an engineering classroom building where he killed 30 people more. The rampage ended when the gunman, still in the classroom building, turned one of his semi-automatic pistols on himself.
Here in Newtown, Connecticut, the site today of a mass shooting, and this time gunfire aimed at elementary school children. The incredible response by teachers inside the school, which is considered one of the leading schools in the nation.
26 killed and 20 others wounded in what is now the deadliest shooting in Texas history. The attacker opening fire outside the church during a morning worship session. He unloaded at least 3 clips before making his way inside.
Medics and first responders couldn't get in there to help, so people had to load the wounded out, carry them over fences to try to get them out of that kill zone. This man, Mike Kronk, tried to carry his friend under over a fence and then under the stage. They tended to him. There were military personnel, possibly law enforcement on the scene as well, who were helping render first aid. That man survived, but they managed to get that injured person into a truck. That was the only way to evacuate, a pickup truck. There was another man shot in the chest there, and he died in this man Mike Kronk's arms just seconds later. An incredibly harrowing scene for the thousands here. And all around the Strip, people can't get back in the Strip. You see them coming out, but they can't come in because it is still on lockdown. These iconic hotels, Georgia, New York, Luxor, Mandalay, Excalibur, they're all right now on lockdown. They're being evacuated. People are being taken out. Just as a precaution, right now authorities believe that there was a single shooter. He's apparently been neutralized. He or she has been neutralized, but not before firing off multiple clips on automatic. First responders saying that there are at least 26 wounded, 12 of them in critical condition, and 2 fatalities so far, but that is obviously likely to rise with those 12 people in critical condition. Hopefully they can be stabilized, George, but right now all the focus here by law enforcement is on securing the scene and on starting the initial phases of the investigation. And to that end, the ATF, the FBI, multiple agencies are on the scene trying to help out.
Is now sacred ground. For nearly 13 years, Pulse served as a place of love and acceptance for the LGBT community, and it should have been the last place for such a tragedy. I invited each of you here today because Pulse has become part of you, and you a part of Pulse. What was once our little corner at Kaylee and Orange is now shared with the world. Together, we are all a part of Pulse's future, right here on this property. I now know that my role is to ensure that Pulse become a place of healing. It is a time for Pulse to contribute to the community in a permanent way, a healing way. Therefore, today, it is with great privilege to announce the establishment and activation of the One Pulse Foundation, whose purpose will be to honor the 49 lives that were taken, the 68 who were injured, all of our affected survivors, the countless first responders and healthcare professionals who treated them. This community-driven effort is intended to ultimately support the construction and maintenance of a permanent memorial, community grants to care for the survivors and victims' families, endowed scholarships for each of the 49 angels, and eventually a museum showcasing historic artifacts and stories from the event.
We got
to the end of the line, which is near the corner, you heard one gunshot. You heard boom. So we looking around. We didn't know what it was. It didn't sound like a familiar sound. And the buildings around here made it kind of echo off. And then you hear a second boom, and then after that, it's complete rapid fire. Oh.
Another 26 people were wounded and are being treated at local hospitals. We have new video of the arrest of the suspected gunman, 21-year-old Patrick Lucius. Police are trying to figure out his motive, but as CBS 2's Kenneth Craig reports, officials are already looking into today's shooting as a possible hate crime.
A gunman opened fire at a Walmart in El Paso, Texas, just before 11 a.m. on Saturday. These surveillance photos appear to show the alleged shooter entering the building.
The Walmart was at capacity when the shootings occurred.
Sources tell CBS News 21-year-old Patrick Cruces is in custody.
The person that was taken into custody without incident, and no law enforcement personnel fired their weapons.
Police are investigating a manifesto apparently written by the suspect. He denounces the increasing Hispanic population in Texas as one reason for his actions. Congresswoman Veronica Escobar represents El Paso.
This is someone who came from outside of our community to do us harm. A community that has shown nothing but generosity and kindness to the least among us.
The Walmart is part of a large shopping complex that was on lockdown during the attack. Video from behind a closed gate shows police quickly moving through the Cielo Vista Mall.
People just started bolting straight into the store in order to get to cover.
Employees and shoppers say it took some time before they realized what was going on.
And I wasn't really paying attention when I heard doo, 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 and then it went doo, 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 doo.
Just hours after the attack, hundreds waited in long lines to answer an urgent call for blood donations in the latest community ripped apart by yet another mass shooting.